Welcome, everybody. I'm Shilpa, and today we have a very special guest with us. She has been the COO of Batil for nearly a decade. She is a systemic constellation facilitator and a teacher, and she does worldwide sessions with people around the globe. So here we are. Tina, it is. How are
Thank you,
you?
thank you, thank you. You're so kind.
It's
I'm
a
happy to be here.
pleasure having you on the show today.
Yeah.
So, can you please tell our audience? A lot of people, we don't know what a systemic constellation is about. How would you tell in very simple words to start with what is a systemic constellation?
So, systemic constellation, or also called family constellation, is a modality from Germany that was discovered in the 1970s by a gentleman called Bert Hellinger, psychoanalyst. And it's a very unconventional intervention. So, if you really want to know what the root cause is of reoccurring issues, patterns, or challenges in your life or in your business, even, you do a constellation and it's going to show you what the root cause is. So, you can save hours and hours and hours of talk therapy or trying to make conscious realizations of why is this happening and go straight to the root cause. Very often the root cause is ancestral even, so it didn't start with you. It didn't start with you. It could be that you carry something for your ancestors. And wouldn't it be wonderful to let that go? And in companies, it's likewise. Very often we see that the root cause is how we have been treating ex-employees, for example. And most companies don't pay much attention to that even because it's like, oh, it's over, so who cares? Yeah, it looks like there is a beautiful energetic field that connects all of us. We call it the morphogenetic field or the knowing field, or Beth Hellinger used to call it the great soul, or we call it Wi Fi. You send a picture today from here to Japan and you don't wonder how the hell it gets there. So it's a field of energy that connects all of us where all the information is stored. We tap into that, we find the root cause, and you can let it go if you choose to. I've figured out that a lot of people actually like to carry the burden, like to carry the pain because it gives them some form of significance. So I also always ask my clients, how does it serve you to be stuck?
Hmm. I would like to also dig into more because there has been some gold in what you said that there has been this ancestral layers into our
Mm.
life. So could you please elaborate that? Will our relationships also be affected with from ancestral? Is
100%. So what we forget, especially in nowadays world, okay, we suddenly think, oh, I'm so autonomous, I'm hyper independent, I don't need anybody, and I forget what's the name of my great grandmother. Don't you think it's important
Hmm.
that she gave life to your father, and that's why he's to your grandfather, and then to your father, and that's why you're here. So we forget where we have come from. And I'm very passionate about the topic because it was my story too. I totally did not even know my grandma's name till it dawned on me that this is shocking that I don't know where I'm from. When we work in business, we work on brand image, roots, all the elements. Everything is important. The history is so important. How did we merge? How did we create this idea? And then in real life, we don't even know what our grandmother did for work, or our grandfather, or our great grandfather. Was he in war? If your great grandfather was in war, and that's very likely, then there is trauma in your genes that you need to release. Epigenetics, it's a big field in science nowadays. Since more than 15 years, it's heavily studied because it's proven now that trauma, shock, pain, unprocessed emotions are passed on through generations. There's a lot of studies on that. It started with studying Holocaust survivors and their great grandchildren, and you would see that they have the same change in their chromosomes than the victim of the trauma. So, yes, we carry. So, for example, we have cases where we see that a woman has massive relationship issues, and when we dive into to see the root cause, we see that her grandfather was forbidden to marry the love of his life, and nobody ever acknowledged that pain that he cared for his whole life, not being allowed because in certain cultures, marriages are arranged;
Hmm.
it's not your choice, and especially in past generations. So we see that a lot that we carry pain from ancestors. Or, for example, if a man cannot be loyal, we always get very angry and often we blame ourselves, but it's really not about you. If a man cannot be loyal, it only shows you that he doesn't have a father standing behind him. That means he rather did not have a father or he grew up with a stepfather. Stepfathers are wonderful, but they're still not the biological father. We also always have to make that differentiation. Or the father was not available emotionally, could not show him what a man is, what the masculine is, what a healed masculine is, how a relationship looks like. So if you look at your childhood, the first 7 years of your life are the major imprint phase. So you see relationship in form of your parents. That will become your model of your world. This is what you think is possible in love. So yeah, if you think about the relationship of your parents, many of us, we wonder, is this what we want in life? And if not, it's time to look into your roots. Yeah.
That is very, very interesting to know about. However, I have one more question that I'm keen to know, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers will be. How did you get so fascinated about systemic constellation, and how did you get into it and started
Mhm.
spreading so much of healing, also talking to so many people and changing their lives, I would say.
So what I like to say is that I hold space for self-healing. You got to do it. I can just hold up the mirror. I can hold a safe space for, I usually do group constellations for a beautiful group of people who hold space for each other. And then we see what the root cause of this pain is. And then it's up to you, when you have that realization, to bring it to life. So then on day-to-day basis, if you realize that, for example, you have a challenge with a man who ghosts you, it's because you're projecting on them the unconditional love you wanted from your mother. So you have very high demands. Then these guys cannot cater to that and they just run. Literally, they run. So ultimately, it comes back to us. Now, constellation is beautiful because it's not a blame game. It's not about whose fault, who's not at fault. It's about accepting what is. So I see the situation, I find the root cause, and I accept. And from there, I can evolve and emerge. But so it's not me doing any kind of healing. I'm just holding space. And then it's your self healing that you do. Like any other modality, it's really you doing the work. So, chapeau bas to all the people who do it because it's not easy. So, it's really amazing that you have the courage to look into it.
Wow, that's amazing. I have seen a lot of couples basically when they're in a relationship, they love each other. They are so much in love. However, at the same time, they cannot stay with each other. Could you please highlight like what could be that little piece that is missing?
Yeah, sometimes we hear people and psychologists say that love is not enough, right? So, in my opinion, love is enough, but we do have to work on ourselves if we want to be able to compromise and be with somebody because none of us perceives reality for what it really is. I have my truth, you have your truth, I have my wounds, you have your wounds, and we project on each other. So, you do something that hurts me, it's not really you and the act of
Mm.
what you did, it's my old wound that opens up, but we are unconscious about it. We are not aware. So, I blame it on my partner, like because you did ABC, it hurt me. That doesn't work. It's not him. He did something that caused this old pain to erupt for you to look at it. So whenever you feel triggered by a person or hurt by a person, it's a great gift to you, I would say by the universe, to look into this point because your trigger, your biggest trigger is your biggest gift. It's where you need to heal yourself. It's not about the other person. So for me, it was the same. I was on a journey in the corporate world. I was super successful. I loved my job and I still love my former employer. My blessings to you. And but I had pain. I had a lot of pain in my body. I suffered from so much body pain. I suffered from health conditions. Yeah, I was working 14 hours a day, but I loved it. So I would be the person that on the weekend, when I notice it's weekend, I'd be like, oh no, it's weekend, so nobody else works but me. You know, when you send emails and you want people to do stuff, it
Yeah.
doesn't happen on the week. So I was that much consumed into work till I realized that that's a trauma response. I was highly traumatized and I didn't even know it. And so are 99% of world population. People are traumatized and are not even aware. We in this society, we have come to cherish people who are hardworking, workaholics. That's amazing. Perfectionists, fantastic. Bullshit. Perfectionists, you know what perfectionism is? It's fear dressed in a beautiful dress because you're so scared of being rejected that it needs to be perfect. So you are a people pleaser. But if I were somebody would tell me back then you're a people pleaser, I would let hell unleash because sure I'm not. And I discovered, oh, I am. Because the rejection wound of when I was 3 years old or whatever was so deep that I would not allow that to ever happen again. And how do you do it? You build an armor, you become very strong, you become very successful because you totally step into your masculine. So
Hmm.
the wounded feminine always steps into her masculine, and then she's the toughest manager on the block or the toughest director on the block. People call her the machine. But is she healthy? Is she happy inside? Because she's not living her essence. So no, we are not. And It takes a stroke or it takes a health condition or something like that to wake up for many people. So here I am saying, don't wait for that. If your body is screaming, listen to it. Because if you have that chronic neck pain or chronic back pain, it's your body talking to you. If you have any other disease, and I call it disease because you fall out of ease, that's all it is. It's your body trying to tell you something. Try to listen, go inward, find it, do a constellation. You can do constellations on any kind of ailments you have. You can say, I have this chronic cough, it's not going, let me see what it is. And you will see what it is. But it will take you back, it will take some courage because it's going to open old wounds, but they will heal once and for all. So
Wow.
yeah, my journey started like that. Sorry, I talk a lot. I left the corporate world because I started doing this modality as a client, and I fell in love with it. I was in awe what you can do with it. Then I started studying it because I like to study things, and here I am today, running my own center, holding sessions, facilitating. I did not see that coming, but I have never been as fulfilled.
Wow. It's really profound to hear all these because coming from such a corporate world and you're now into this healing, and also you're an entrepreneur at this point too. So definitely it shows that you can still be doing something that you love and still excel at it and be best at it.
Work should be love. So work should be your love. Job your love, I heard recently. So you need to love what you're doing. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and your life force energy, your time. It's all you have. You should put that into something you like. And it's possible. So for me, the corporate world was always amazing. I learned so much. I grew so much till it was too much. Okay. But I did my learnings. So I cannot. I understand that people sometimes feel stuck in this reality, but it's not the fault of the corporate world. They are beautiful. It's a group of people. That's what a company is, a group of people coming together, following a same goal to achieve something great together because one alone cannot. How beautiful is that definition? We just forgot. So it's time to remember you can be in the corporate world, you can be healthy, you can run your team as your healed feminine or healed masculine, motivate people and achieve something fantastic together. So this notion of I want to leave the corporate world, I think it's also misunderstood. Just find what you love and do it. And do it together with people because we are tribal. We are meant to be in connection. One of our biggest needs is love and connection. And as much as we like to say, oh, it's not true, it is. Love and connection is very important.
I would like to have more advice on the fact that when people, a lot of people, I heard them say, all men are cheaters, all men are liars, and
No.
women are gold diggers. So these I see from both sides. You know, they have very different opinion about each other's, and they want to be with each other. Where where is this going wrong? Like, why are there so many opinions having to arise?
I'll tell you why. It's very easy to understand. You attract what you vibrate. You are vibrating on a certain frequency. If you vibrate on mistrust and anger and shame and guilt, that's what you're going to attract. You'll attract somebody who is in the same loop of energy. So when you have a partner who is, in your opinion, an asshole, sorry for the French, then it's only what you are mirroring out. It's not about the other person. I'm sorry, you are not a victim. I know many people like to be in that victim state, like it's always happening to me, but nothing really happens to you. You are the creator of your reality. And if you understand that, you are so powerful. So maybe it's time to let that victimhood go and step into your power. Again, it's not about fault or not fault, it's about claiming your power. So, why do two people attract each other who are deeply hurt? It's trauma bonding. I
Mm.
have a pain, you have a pain together, it becomes even more painful. How nice is that? Till we step out of that into consciousness, into seeing what we're doing, into our subconscious to see why am I attracting guys who always open up the same pain for me? What is it about not being trustworthy, cheating? Where does it take me?
Mm.
Often it takes you to a mother wound you have. Often it takes you to a father wound you have. It will take us to where we need to see. And that's why it's reoccurring. The moment you heal the wound, you attract very different men or women suddenly because you have healed that part of you. But till you haven't, you will attract the one who vibrates with you in the same frequency. So same, but different, huh?
How about the women? They actually bash other women. I've seen women saying that, this woman is a gold digger, that woman. Same thing, but coming from another woman to a woman.
I see that unfortunately a lot, and I feel so much pain when I read those words because I think they are deeply in pain and they're not even aware. So even when you see social media posts where a beautiful woman is posting something and then you read so many comments about her appearance, so you know that the person writing about her appearance has her greatest insecurity about her own appearance. So your biggest trigger that makes you go online and post something about another person that is not nice is your trigger. It's your biggest pain. You're just not aware. So again, it's a projection. I'm projecting that on you. So if I call you a gold digger, I'm triggered by that. What is a gold digger to start with? I feel gold diggers are women who know their worth and they want people to take good care of them because they had a fantastic father who took good care of her. So why would she be with a man who cannot do that? So I think completely misunderstood.
That's a very, very brilliant perspective to look at it. Like,
She just wants to be well taken care of, and it's fine. That's her conditions. You can take it or leave it. Nobody forces you. So keep on walking if you don't like it. This is her measures. She's defining her standard. We should accept that. Now, if I feel triggered by that, it's my jealousy internal that I can't do that. That I cannot lean back and just receive. The feminine is meant to receive, guys. When we are in our healed feminine, we vibrate beautiful energy and we just attract. We are magnetic. We don't go out and work and hustle and do it. That's not what the healed feminine does. I did it for so long, so I know what I'm talking about. But I know that the true wealth comes when you surrender into receiving. The masculine is supposed to contain us. Now, again, a lot of people get triggered when they hear that. What does it mean, masculine contain me? It means the masculine is here to contain us, to be safe for us so we can flourish. That's how men and women usually work together. If you have a different notion and you like to do it different, please do. But don't bash others. Like, you're free to choose whatever you want to choose, but then don't come with all that rage and anger onto others.
hmm, how about the equality thing that when now in this today's world with feminism, they say that women has to be independent. They need to make their own bread and butter. And a lot of men support it. That yes, and women support it too. So the feminism coming in picture at this point of time. However, the relationship, you can see the dynamic is shifting as well. Men and women, they are going 50-50 on their bills. Uh, some of the women that I know, they take care of their men 100%. Will that affect a woman in a longer period of time?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Hmm.
Also, the women taking care of their partner for 100%, the relationship is not fulfilled because she's giving. She's an overgiver most of the time. So she has you learned in early age that she must deliver something to be loved. So love was very conditional from her parents. So all life long, we over deliver to be loved, to be seen, to be appreciated. And the whole society has fallen into this trap. So men and women are very different, yet we are equal, 100%. But I bring something else to the table than you do. I read a quote recently where the woman was saying, I am the table. What are you bringing to it? Because who's taking care of the home usually? Even if both work, it's usually the female that is doing the nourishing part. Because a man, in his essence, he wants to work with his body, he wants to express his energy, he wants to be the provider. And that's ideal because that's his nature. Only when we are wounded, we are not in our nature. Me, for a very long time, I'm hyper independent. I was hyper independent and I'm still independent. I don't need a man, but I want a man. How beautiful is that? When you can say, I want a man in my life, not I need one. And likewise for the man, if he says, I need a woman, he needs his mother, basically. So you make sure that I am not your mother. I cannot mother you. I'm not here to do that for you. I'm not here to pick your clothes out of the wardrobe and guide you in that regards. I'm your partner. I hold up the mirror. So when you are together with awakened people, it can become a little bit painful because they will hold up the mirror like, oh, whoa, whoa, what are you projecting on me? You know, I can't cater to that. So men and women are equal, but we're not the same. I have creative energies that men just don't have because I can create life. I can carry life in my body. I'm cyclic. I'm going through winter, spring, fall, and summer every month. I'm just like planet Earth. I am cyclic. Women are cyclic, and we need to honor that. So we are very different. We need to be contained. I need somebody in my life who will make my life easier. Otherwise, I don't need him. Very simple. So, what do you bring to the table? You got to tell me. And that's where we have gone wrong. Feminism, yes, we were at the spectrum. We were a total suppression over here. And then the pendulum swing went all the way over here because now we need to claim our freedom. We want to be independent. But we have to find the balance now somewhere in the middle. It's like a beautiful pendulum swing. So it's time to come back here because we have gone through that. And we see it in the world that when we lose balance like that, do you feel the world is at a healthy state? I think it's not. So it's time we find back our balance and we help Mother Earth find back her balance and we create a bit more peace on this planet. It cannot happen if we are in our wounded feminine and our wounded masculine. Men and women still need each other.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me something more about like when a couple, there is this lady who's like daddy's princess, and there's a boy who's mama's boy. How far do you think they could go together?
They will never attract each other
Oh,
because they will attract somebody who will worship them. And of course, daddy's girl will not worship anybody. She is the princess. Who's the princess going to worship? Only herself. So he will attract a wounded female who's ready to make him center of life. Without him, I cannot breathe. Without him, no day is beautiful. The sun is not shining. I cannot perceive my world as happy without him. Yeah, you're wounded and you're asking for your mother. That love you're looking for, that unconditional love, only your mother can give you. Nobody else can give you that. So the sooner you realize, the better it gets for you. So these two will never attract each other. You attract somebody who can cater to you, right? Now, daddy's girl or his princess will have a very tough life. And the fathers out there should know that. When your child, when your girl is your princess and your one and only, which, of course, shower her with your love, but everything needs to have limits. She will never find a man who's as good as you. So that means you're setting her up for a life of loneliness because she'll end up alone. She cannot find someone who's as good as daddy, then she will not be able to have happy relationships. And that's quite sad.
a lot of people, they have a broken family. They come from when the father is mostly not there because custody is won by most of the women. So,
Depends where on the world, though, I
yeah,
think.
that's true as well. However, let's say there is one of the parent missing when somebody's growing up. How impactful is that on the child's life and as well as in the future relationship?
It's extremely impactful. So the relationship to your parents is what sets you up for life ultimately. So, for example, success in your career, easy making of money and appreciating that comes from the father. It's a masculine energy. You knowing how to take your place in the world usually comes from your father. So if you have your father in your heart and you appreciate that he's bigger than you, even if maybe today you have grown smarter than him, because many of us, thanks to our parents, we went through beautiful education that our parents did not have. So now we feel smarter, we feel better, we start advising them. That's usually very bad because the balance goes out of whack. They are bigger than you, they came first, they gave you life. We always must appreciate that. We can advise from the point of a child, but never from suddenly the smarter one or the wiser one. So, if you had a challenge with your father, you often also see challenges in career. And if you had challenges with your mom and you're not able to take your mom into the heart, you see a lot of health conditions because life was given to you through her. You came through her womb. You are literally 50% your mother's cells. If you reject that, you cause a lot of havoc in your body, first of all. And second, you can never be abundant because abundance comes from mom. So life cannot give you abundance. You might have money, but you always struggle for it. And with relationships, if you had challenges with your mother, here comes the biggest screw up. You will be projecting all of this on your partner. So they will usually ghost or cheat on you or do anything to end the relationship because it becomes too much. So set up also for unpleasant relationships. And I know sometimes life was hard. Sometimes our parents were so hard to us. And sometimes we think they have done things that were unforgivable. So, in that case, let's say if your parent is toxic to you and you cannot have them in your life, but have them in your heart because life came to you through them. That's a fact you cannot change. So, let's say you decide to not be in touch with your father, at least have him in your heart and bow to him for giving you life. So, thank you for giving me life. Just right now, I cannot be in touch with you, but you are here. That's all it takes, literally. And you have to mean it, of course.
Right. I want to ask you one more question about this. Nowadays when people talk about cheating, it is as good as canceling a subscription. You forget to cancel a subscription, and when people cheat, they made it so common. Is this now become a trend to cheat, that it's a fashion, everybody's cheating, so should I and so would I? Or it's a deep wound that you're trying to fulfill something or trying to get that attention somewhere?
I don't think that cheating has become common or acceptable, to be honest. Um, See, cheating is a deep wound in the bond and sometimes not repairable. It's very difficult for couples to come back from that. And of course, it can only happen if he looks into the root cause of this, which often is the missing father behind him. So, doing an intervention where he takes his father back into the heart and puts the order back. So, what's very important is that we honor the hierarchy. They came first, so they are bigger. So, for a couple, I have a lot of couples like that who come to sessions. There's only one chance to bounce back from that, which is he does something about it, why it happened in the first place. A. B. She stops projecting what she's projecting on him, because there will always be involvement from both sides. So if it's like this unwavering expectation of deliver certain things that he cannot deliver, you have to stop it. And the most important thing is that if we agree to continue from here onwards, we don't look back. We never talk about it again. We talk about it once and for all. We let go the pain, and that's it. It's not something you constantly bring up. The only way, if you want to look into the future, is to look forward. You cannot keep turning back, and at any opportunity that he did something or she did something you didn't like, you bring it up. So you have to be clear. You want to give this relationship a chance, that's it. We never speak about it again and we move on together. But most couples don't manage. But the root cause is something you need to look at. It's not just because we see it in TV. A lot of people tell me, "Oh no, I don't want my kids to watch American TV." They get influenced by that. No, they get influenced by you only. How you live your life, what role model you are to them, how you project to them a happy relationship should be. That's what they see. Doesn't matter what they see on TV. Even all this entire movement with LGBTQ, sorry, can't even say it properly. I honor them and I feel for you and what you're going through. But even this is not influenced by TV. People say, I don't want my kids to watch Netflix because of that. Well, it's not going to impact a healthy child. The first 3 years with mom are so important, and then the first 7 years are major imprint. Whatever happens after that will not impact your child if you have been there, if you were available, if your love was unconditional. So not only I love you when you did great homework and you didn't misbehave, I still love you even when you throw the tantrum. But I see people when a kid throws a tantrum that they shout at them, they tell them to zip it, to not do it. And I try to tell you, if your child is 3 years old and she's throwing a tantrum or he's throwing a tantrum, that's fantastic. That means she's healthy, he's healthy, he knows how to express frustration and emotions. What you're teaching them is to suppress emotions. And then we talk about a society where, oh, men don't talk about their feelings. Well, guess why? We told them boys don't cry, boys don't do that, girls don't do that. Wow. So what you have today is just your mirror. When kids make you feel helpless, it's how they feel. However your child makes you feel, it's how they feel. They just want you to feel it too. So when they make you feel angry, they feel so much anger. So talk about the emotions with your kids. We are still so scared to talk about emotions. I don't understand.
Such a dynamic of relationship you have spoken, and in the last few questions, that there's a massive dynamic behind it of all the relationship. Is there any chance we can bounce back from the trauma and we can get better in our relationship?
Yeah, of course, we can bounce back from anything. That's the good news. You don't have to carry this stuff. You have to work through it, look at it, let it go. That's it.
So there is hope.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very hopeful.
Okay.
You can bounce back from literally anything.
So how do we do that? Let's say we need to have a better relationship or better job or better career or better health. How can we do that? How can we bounce back to the other
So
side?
let's say you have a health condition, okay? You have a disease. Let's take an example. I recently had a client who always has issues with eczema, massive eczema on her skin, and sometimes combined with acne. Okay. And then she would say the eczema, she has it since a little girl, maybe 2, 3 years old, her mom says. And the acne is since 5 years. So my first question is, of course, she cannot remember when she was 2 or 3 years old, but if she does remember what happened during that time, was there any move? Was there anything impactful in their life that happened? So we remembered that there was a time when her parents got divorced. Now, our skin in metaphysical anatomy, which is a beautiful health guide, it shows that it's our boundaries. So when our boundaries are not respected and when we don't feel secure, our skin often flares up. So if she was to have the realization that her parents divorcing made her feel extremely insecure, abandoned, because when a father leaves a woman, a wife, unfortunately, the kids always think they are the reason, even though they aren't. And unfortunately, the mother does not tell the child, it's not about you, it's about me. Your father left me. No, she just makes him the bad guy usually. Like, see what he did to us. He left us. And so she puts a lot of her pain onto the child. So here the healing intervention usually is to give the pain she carries for mom back to mom and to make peace with that. And then the skin will heal. So it's just one example of a case, right? It can be manifold, it can have many different realizations behind it, but it depends on case to case. So Arkin is the same. 5 years ago, she stepped out of her corporate job into doing her own business. For a woman that feels very insecure in the beginning, yeah, you can do it, you can push it, you work hard, you trust yourself, and still doing it alone is a heavy load. So her skin reacted again because there's a lot of unconditional fear here. So when we work through the emotions, we don't need to have these eruptions in the body. So when we have anything in the body, what I do is we talk to the body, we connect to the field, we see what's there, what does it want to express, what do you need to see, or for who do you carry this? And then usually it vanishes quite quickly. Even though our intention never is to have anything vanish, we acknowledge, we accept what is, and we embrace it. So I start loving my acne because it's trying to protect me. The moment I can look at any condition like that, like, thank you for trying to protect me, something shifts. Same in relationships, there's nothing you cannot heal from.
Let's talk about workplace and relationship. When you have your colleagues, you have a relationship with them, right? Maybe there's sometimes people don't gel along, people don't
Yeah, of
go
course.
along, and the workplace becomes a bit difficult to work in.
So at work, it's always very interesting to look at all of the dynamics. So are you respecting your boss, for instance? It's very important because many of us, we work for people that we don't really like and we talk badly behind them, behind their back. That's a dynamic that causes a lot of blocks in your life. You have two choices when you are in a company where you don't like your boss. You accept him and surrender to him because he is the superior, or you leave. But staying there and being very negative, it will only hurt you, yourself. You will create blocks in your own life. Money cannot flow to you because of that negative energy. Example. Now, all of your colleagues, you all have dynamics. So it's always about accepting one another, respecting the hierarchy, whoever is superior, even if you feel, oh, but they're not so smart. I'm much smarter. For whatever reason, that person is superior to you. So you need to honor the hierarchy, or you can go. You always have these two options, right? Now, when the dynamic is very toxic in organizations, we usually look into what has happened here, who was excluded from the system. Because in constellation, we always look for who's missing, who was totally forgotten, who did we not treat well, who did we exclude. You know, sometimes, let's say many generations ago, if my daughter were to marry somebody I didn't approve, I will disown her. And then all her life long, I will not call her anymore my daughter. This family system will be highly disrupted, and every other generation will have the same issue because they want us to look at the initial pain. Same in companies. If you fired somebody in a not nice way, in a humiliating way, that energy will be lingering there, so the people cannot get along with each other. Or if there was a division, most companies have this, where there's one division that just cannot make profit or cannot be organized, and you have a high fluctuation rate, like every year the manager or the director leaves or is fired, so it cannot find peace. There's something to it. Let's look at the root cause. Where did this start? Was there maybe a partner in the business who was not honored? Was there somebody who was terminated and it wasn't fair? So there is a story, and it would be good to look into it to not have this toxicity.
Oh, there's so many things that I'm learning. Like it has its different aspect of life.
Yeah, I like to call this the school of life because you really learn the major principles, which are to honor hierarchy, to maintain balance, and that give and take must be in balance. So you take and you must give, otherwise, any relationship will end. And hierarchy, who came first is first, literally. So even in your company, when you have there, you're coming as a director and you have an office boy in the company who has been working there for 20 years, you must honor him for that, or there will be issues in the dynamic in the office. That was very interesting. I had a story like that. I had an office boy when I joined my last director title, and he was very friendly with all the other directors except me. He was bringing everybody in the morning coffee and stuff except me, and I decided to not force it. I could have just commanded him to do that. I didn't. And then one fine day, many months later, I heard that his wife got sick. And I arranged for the company to take care of that because, in this country, that's not always covered. So we took care of that. And it somehow he found out. So he came very, very emotionally to my office. And from that day, I had very beautiful coffee. But I felt whatever was going on before, I honor him. He has been here for 20 years. I don't know why he chose not to serve me, but it's fine. I don't want anybody to serve me who doesn't do so with love. Because anything you do without love, the frequency will be that. So when he brings me the coffee with love and blessings, I think that's very conscious of having your coffee, and I don't need it any other way. So yes, we honor people who have been there before us, even if their title is not equal to ours.
Talking about corporate world, when we know that Japan has been very, very corporate, and we
Mm.
also miss the relationship there. And it seems like a growing culture that people are trying to be more in their own solitude rather than going out on dates, meeting people, and forming new bonds and relationship. Could you please highlight some vision on that?
In my opinion, in my humble opinion, it's again a trauma response. When we try to disconnect and be alone, and we start having to pay people to rent them. I saw that you can rent a father for a day, you can rent a boyfriend for a day. I feel great sadness in that. So there is a certain disconnection that maybe we need to reestablish. And again, there, maybe it will help us to look into the roots. Where is this coming from? Why do we feel so disconnected? The hierarchy in Japan is very extreme. So I feel it's not how we mean hierarchy. We mean somebody came first, so we honor them. But it's not about worshiping somebody, it's about honoring the hierarchy. I also know that women have a very low rank there. I disagree with that because women, again, in my opinion, men and women are equal, and women should be cherished by our society for being able to carry life. For me, that's a miracle. I myself don't have children, so I look at women who have given birth with awe. When I have clients who tell me that I'm afraid to do that, I'm afraid to do this, I do ask them, but you gave birth to three children, right? At the risk of your own life, you created life within you, and you're scared of this? How is that even possible? Did you forget who you are? So I feel a society not valuing that is hurt, and we should look into the pain. If you see what's going on in the world, it just shows you how traumatized we are. These things can only happen because we are not in self love. In my seminars, I usually advertise with, because people love this, come to my seminar and find the love of your life. And they're like, oh, yeah, yeah, exciting. And then in the end of the 2 days, the realization is the love of your life, the big love of your life is you, my friend. Nobody else but you. You got to love yourself unconditionally, exactly as you are, with all the flaws, with all the perfect imperfections, whatever it is. And then you will attract somebody on the same wavelengths. Then you will attract somebody who will love you that much. Because when somebody cannot love you, you have to realize that they can only love you as much as they can love themselves. So if you have a partner where you feel, why is he not more romantic with me? Why is he not doing more effort for me? Ask yourself, is he doing that for himself? Is he taking good care of himself? What does he do to show himself love? Many people have fallen out of it so much that how can they do it for you if they cannot do it for themselves? So this modality, in my true opinion, and I've tried many modalities, and I have wear many hats. I'm a hypnotist. I do NLP as well, hypnotherapy, and all of that. I honor hypnotherapy a lot. But this modality, it goes beyond any of these modalities. It brings a healing on a level that we have never witnessed before. So when I discovered this, I was blown away, and I still am blown away every session. Nothing gets old. I'm still wowed. So if you have never tried it, please try it. Nothing to lose. People are like, why should I try it? Why not? You try different ice cream flavors. Try this. See where it takes you. And if you don't like it, just say, okay, it wasn't for me. I let it go. That's it.
For that, I would want you to please tell our viewers how can they contact you, because you have so much knowledge, you have so much experience on facilitating constellation and holding space for people. How can we contact you? How can we get in touch with you?
So you can reach us on the website, constellationsdubai.com. It's very simple. It's literally just Constellations Dubai. And you can reach out to any of the other facilitators in the city. Dubai is blessed with such a wealth of therapists, facilitators, that we really, really are lucky to be here. So if you feel the urge of going somewhere, just Google or ChatGPT and try a session. Try with me, try with my students, try with any other facilitator. It's about the modality. One thing we understand as facilitators, that I'm just holding space for this beautiful energy to show us what we need to see. It's not really about me at all. You are much bigger than me when you're my client. I'm just holding your field. And I'm very honored when you trust me with this, because it usually goes very deep. But if you're ready for the deep dive and you're ready to let go, then this is your time now.
One more question, that can we come to you for any problems that we have in our life, and then we
Absolutely.
can, oh, wow, so
Absolutely.
okay.
There's nothing you cannot constellate or look into. Nothing. And most of the things that are an issue are on the underlying belief system. So if it's not ancestral, which we will look into, it's your belief system. So if something in your reality is reoccurring, it's because you have certain beliefs. You know, recently we hear a lot about limiting beliefs.
Mm.
So if you believe I'm not good enough, you will attract that kind of people, that kind of a job. If you believe deep down that money, if I have too much money, I become greedy, you will never have more money than enough, because your subconscious is so scared that you also become greedy and lose yourself in it. But you know what? Money is just a beautiful energy. No matter how much you have of it, it's just going to amplify your character. So if you're a bad person, which we don't believe in constellation, we don't believe in good and bad. But let's say if you are what society thinks is a bad person, then that will be amplified by money. If you're a very good person, that will be amplified by money too. You'll do good with your money. So money does not spoil the character. A lot of people have this limiting belief. I wonder where that came from. So check on your beliefs about relationships, about money, about life, and let them go. There's so many limiting beliefs we carry around that really doesn't make life more pleasant. So it's time to let go. It's time to heal. It's always self-healing, and it's empowering yourself. Nothing can be better than that.
Wow, it's I'm so blessed to have you today on this chair and to talk to you and to learn about life in so much in depth. It's brilliant. Thank you so much for giving us with all the information and opening up space for us so we can actually contact you. I'm definitely booking a session straight after this because I think I need some. And yeah, anything else would you like to tell us, tell our viewers for now?
That's it. Just be with yourself, develop this self love and self care. Sometimes I tell my clients, ask yourself when you do something, when you're about to do something or respond or react, what would a person do that loves herself or himself? So if you're about to react in a certain way, what would a person do that really loves herself? And then often you change your act actually. So I think it's all about finding self love, finding back to yourself, remembering who you are, because you are a very powerful being in this wonderful reality that we all should enjoy. And if you have lost track, there's so many out here who can help you find back. We all have been there once, so it's never too late.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.